Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of FQ Kwentuhan. This is FQ Mom Rose Fresh Fausto. Today is a special episode because we have two very special ladies with us to talk about our project, The Little Vintage Shop. Please welcome Penny Katigbak and Mel Asuncion.
Hello. Thank you for having us, Rose.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you that you traveled all the way.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mel. My day job is I'm a designer of sorts. I design everything from houses to interiors. I do a little bit of everything. I always say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. And I ended up in this field, which I love because my husband's a developer and I do all the designs for our projects.
Oh, wow.
So that's basically what I do.
Okay.
And
Penny?
Yes. What I'm doing now is actually similar to what Mel is doing, except the designing part. I'm more on the maintenance of, like I have a portfolio of properties, so that's what I do now. But prior to that, I was into private banking.
Yes, I know that. Kilala ko sina Joby.
Yes. And my boss, Stella Kabalatungan.
Of course, with us.
I think that was like a prime reason why I decided to join Zonta.
Yes. So tell us about that. Who's your recruiter?
My recruiter was the best friend of my mom, Tita Jeannie Carlos. So ever since, she was already like inviting me to join the club. And I said, Tita, I don't really have much time because my kids are young and I'm still sending them off to work in the States and also one to college. And now that I've settled the two and I have one left, we're almost empty nesters. Then I said, okay, Tita, I think I can commit some time for Zonta. And what's nice is I really studied what their objective was, and I like that we're pursuing something on women empowerment.
That's right. And talking about Zonta, Zonta International is a very old group na. Parang 1919?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's an international club similar to mga Rotary, no? And our mission, syempre, baka ang mga titas, sabihin, di ba? Lagi tayong tinetest So, so please, di ba, sabihin natin, the mission vision, really, this is what I remember of Zonta, is that we would like to see a world where women's rights are recognized as human rights and that every woman in this world will reach her full potential. Please add on kung meron pang pwedeng idagdag.
so I was also looking for, community service. I was locked in my own home, in my little bubble, and I thought, what can I do to help? And Zonta had actually, even though we were locked down, we had so many projects to help, other women. Our first task my first assignment was to call marginalized women, ask them how they're doing, send them a little food, send them like art kits or whatever for their kids, mga ganyan. So we're constantly, the organization is constantly looking for ways to help other women.
Who recruited you?
Michelle Bartolome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ako naman, I was recruited by Tita Marites Pineda.
Okay.
Our art expert in the
She
group.
is the...
But my God, she's an energizer bunny.
I know, right?
Everywhere.
Idol.
Not only Zonta, the other
All
advocacy
other.
groups.
Yeah. Ang dami-dami niyang ginagawa. So now, let's talk about the Little Vintage Shop. Who would like to go first? How did you come up with the idea? Paano ba to?
So
Let's
actually...
talk about our story.
Yeah.
How we
Sige.
conceptualized it.
My idea actually was to I love decluttering my house, and I love...
Marie Kondo.
Yeah. I'm constantly decluttering. My goal is to have just essentials na lang matira because I'm really super minimalist. And then I wanted to... I thought everybody would love to declutter too, and I wanted to help find a place for them to send their things where it would benefit a lot of people. So I called Penny. Sabi ko, Penny, let's make a secondhand store for Zonta. And then she had this idea of making a vintage shop. You talk about it now.
Parang it sounds more social, di ba?
Yeah.
Siyempre parang mga Zonta touches. Mas social ang mga lola.
Parang our ideas were similar and related. So she was like looking at something like a Goodwill type of store in the States.
Yes.
And then mine naman was like, aside from the Goodwill, because my son is in LA, so there's a lot of like thrift or flea markets there. And it's so parang it's so nice. It's like heaven to us. My daughters and I love to like look at the treasure trove of things. So I said, why don't we come up with a vintage shop, even just like a weekend sale of items. And I'm sure all these Zonta members have a lot of interesting stuff in their closets. And Tita Jeannie was really saying that, you know, Penny, I think you can do a lot of fundraising projects. So I said, Tita, you know, why don't we be creative with our fundraising? Because instead of like raising funds by approaching, you know, people or companies for cash, and it's actually hard times now, and
donors fatigue.
Yes, donors fatigue. So we said, why don't we create something fun? Why don't they clean up their closets, and then another person's trash can be someone else's treasure? So
I know.
That's how it came about.
And what's good is that you are helping both sides, diba? Kasi kami as a family, we also do that eh. Every Holy Week, we go through our closets, talagang nagtatanggal kami. Otherwise, talagang you will just accumulate, and you really have to treat your closets na parang real estate, di ba? Parang, does this deserve the space that I'm allocating to it kung hindi mo na ginagamit?
Actually, there's another thing pala na I wanted to highlight. In the course of, you know, preparing for this project, I came across this term na responsible donation. So, you know, a lot of us box our things and send them kung saan-saan, and we don't know if our like fancy shirt will end up being fully appreciated, diba? This way, they send us all their nice things, we curate it, we present it properly, and then the right person will find it and make the most use of it. So like, you know, your like fancy branded item will not end up nakakalat as trapo somewhere, diba? It will reach its maximum potential.
And there are also horror stories na biglang may gown doon sa mga, diba, yung mga nabagyo. Oo, parang anong gagawin ko sa gown?
And they actually feel offended to receive those luxury items because that
are you insulting me, diba, no?
Yes.
So this is so paano yung process nyo? Can you tell us what you do? Like, is it limited just to Zonta members to contribute? And then so the buying and the contribution. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, okay. It started with the Zonta members donating, and then eventually by word of mouth, more people wanted to donate. Like, for example, Tita Jeannie, she announced it to her village community. And at the same time, I also did it. And then more people wanted to participate by donating. And eventually, when we set up something, they said they also want to buy. So it became more of like a clothing exchange, accessories exchange.
Yeah. And I think we're also helping the environment kasi nga yung tinatawag na fast fashion. Would you like to talk about that?
Okay, this is more Penny's thing, but I read up a little on it. Grabe pala, when she shared with me the pollution caused by fashion, it's really unbelievable. Like, there's photos of piles and piles, mountains and mountains of fashion, accessories, garments, everything filling our landfills, overflowing talaga. And you know, and if you think about the synthetic fabrics that take forever to biodegrade, diba? It's really gonna be it's a huge problem. I didn't know about this. So, you know, recycling clothes this way helps us save resources of production. You know, people, and yun nga, na-extend yung lifespan of products that are already in existence. So, we love it.
Yeah. Well, also aside from that, you know, there were also some brands. I don't want to mention na because, you know, maybe we're also guilty of purchasing
because
from
we also
them.
buy from them.
Yeah, but there are some that also use child labor, So, you know, we have to be aware of what we buy and who we support.
Yeah. Sige, can you tell us about this? The one at the back. See, itong ating background.
This is like my take on the vintage because I was telling Mel we have to bring something vintage. We have to wear something. So this is like my vintage vest. I found it in this flea market called Melrose Exchange in LA.
Melrose.
Okay. These are my vintage finds. They're like from the 60s, 70s, I think. Yeah. So they're really old also. And I don't know who owns it. I don't know where it came from. I just bought it also in the US at a vintage fair.
Wow, nice.
But you know what I like about vintage? It has more provenance. And it speaks to us. Like
It has a soul,
yes.
no? Diba?
And there's like continuity of expression.
Mali ang outfit ko. Naka-fast fashion
Pero
yata ako.
when I
Dapat
went
nag-vintage ako.
No, and it's less nakakonsensya, di ba? You know, we get a lot of buyers now who need like something for like a cost, like they need a costume, and they don't want to
Yeah.
spend like a bajillion bucks on a nice. So here they'll get something really nice, not cheap. Like they'll get a nice gown which they'll wear once for a wedding, di ba?
Yes.
Or ano no, yung mga balls ngayon. Can you tell us about that? Kasi I saw in the group chat meron mga
Yeah.
They
gumagana.
have a lot of really nice gowns.
Yeah. So, we receive like a lot of donated gowns and
Mga couture.
Some of the girls are looking for pre-love gowns for their proms and grad balls. And
Diba?
perfect, they're the perfect models because they're so skinny.
Yes, yes.
They have the figure. So
Have you seen the Met Gala recently?
Yeah.
Meron
Black and
mga naka-vintage doon
yeah.
It has a story. It has
Nicole
more.
Kidman wore a vintage Dior gown.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I would totally wear a vintage Dior.
It has more character.
Yeah, it does. Oh, but since this is FQ&Tuhan, I cannot let you go without you guys sharing with us your childhood money memory.
Oh, childhood money.
Kasi I'm very big on that Normally kasi, the way we deal with money right now is so much affected by our childhood money memory. So, this is a surprise question to them.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, sure.
The first thing that popped into my head was my dad would take me to these bargain places and I'd be like, Dad, we can afford to go here. You know, yung hindi sa bargain. And he would say, I can afford to go there. You cannot. So, he instilled in me early on that I have to,
I like that.
make my own money. And medyo it worked. It really worked. I'm really, compared to, I don't know, whoever, basta I'm masipag when it comes to making money.
So I think we have to remind the parents there, no? Sometimes kasi masyadong overindulgent tayo,
Yeah.
no? And then we think na kaya naman natin hindi naman masusunog ang bulsa. Pero you have to differentiate what you can afford already because you've already worked hard, matanda ka na, and what your children, your very young children, can afford para hindi naman ma-spoil. How about you, Penny? Childhood money memory.
I think, this little vintage shop speaks of my childhood because ever since my mom was widowed, I was 5 years old, parang she already taught us the value of things. So, of course, she was like raising all of us by herself. So, I, being the youngest girl,
you are.
had all the
I'm
hand-me-downs.
also the youngest girl.
So, I had all the hand-me-downs. And
Anong naging
I
effect?
didn't mind.
You didn't mind.
I didn't mind. Even the toys. I had hand-me-downs. Of course, special occasions, I would get something brand new. But I didn't mind. I never saw it as like an insult or anything. And then growing up with my boyfriend, now husband, I was already telling him, let's have a garage sale so we can earn more money for our dates
nice.
and all that. And then
Swerte niya.
look at us now, parang how
You're
many
doing
years
this,
after we have this vintage sale. Yeah.
Let's go back to the little vintage shop. How can they contribute and how can they buy?
Okay, so we have an Instagram, the little _vintage shop, and you can just message us if you want to send something. Like, we actually accept everything that's sellable, salvageable, usable, because the items that we don't put on site for sale, like we get a lot of like nice furniture. Actually, we've gotten lamps.
You've got there.
Yeah, carpets, super nice, super
Mattress.
nice. Yeah, super nice talaga. We're going to sell them at the Makati Garden Club on June 3 and 4. So people who are like a bit worried about buying online, they can visit the live sale. But if not, you can also just browse our Instagram and look at whatever we're selling and just message us if you want to buy it.
So, it's DM only, ah. Ganyan ang usapan natin dito.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what? As much as we want to post a lot on Instagram, we cannot keep up with the amount of donations. We have like 3 houses with mountains of donated clothes.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're going to be bringing trucks to Makati Garden Club this June 3 and 4. So, it's really gonna be a heavenly treasure hunt for everybody. And promise, it's
Grabe
not going...
ka, 3 houses?
Yeah. And promise, it's not going to be expensive. It's going to be worth your while.
Sige. So, girls, I'm also going to show you some of the items kasi medyo nag-clear up ako. Ano mga hindi na kasya dito, mga hindi ko na ito ginagamit, pero gusto ko pa, pero wala eh. And, kasi ako, I used to have this habit na meron akong parang purgatory. I cannot get rid of you yet, pero I haven't worn you for a long time, so ilalagay ko doon.
May emotional
Tapos, pag
connection.
natapos na yung another season ulit or another year, tapos magde-declutter na naman ako, andito ka pa, okay, it's time to go. Yun. Tapos, ginagawa ko yung Marie Kondo, nagpapasalamat ako. I do like that.
Yeah.
We actually failed to mention one thing, which is our beneficiary for this project.
Yes.
So all the proceeds of this project, every single cent you spend on a pair of pants goes to Marilac.
Marilac community is in Alabang. It is a community of sexually abused girls. And when I visited them, it was very touching for me to meet most of them. There were girls from 7 years old to 21 years old institutionalized there. So they're supported by the government. But where Zonta comes in is they support a psychological facility. We actually fund the psychological facility. We have 2 therapists there helping the girls try to heal emotionally, and at the same time they're also helped how to speak in front of the courts as they try to fight for their cases.
Oh, wow.
Super kawawa some of the stories there. I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate to share if this is like
I think we should because they're the beneficiaries of the project.
Okay, so medyo na-move talaga ako when I heard about this one girl, maybe she's 8, and she was raped by her father. And the mother decided to place the 8-year-old in the facility instead of kicking out the dad, because she said it's easier for me to have another kid than to find a good husband.
Oh my
wow.
So imagine just to give them up.
Yeah. So,
so these are the people that you will be helping by really doing something, contributing to the project, the Little Vintage Shop. Wow. And on that note, any other projects or goodbye remarks?
Should we mention something that we're also cooking up in line with the Little Vintage Shop is our upcycling project in collaboration with College of St. Benilde. So we've been talking to the professors of fashion and marketing design, and some of the students will probably avail of some materials from us, and then we can come up with an upcycling project.
Ay, ang ganda.
So that's down the line, and we'll let you know.
Okay. Any other addition?
It's just, okay, so how the donation works is we have so we accept all kinds of donations. The fancy items end up at the Little Vintage Shop. The more practical items end up at the Zonta community store in Taguig. Like, say, if you want to donate throw pillows, they're not exactly fashionable. So they end up there, where they end up being sold at really bargain prices to people who need them. So that's how we segregate the items, and nothing goes to waste.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we'd like to thank you for joining us in this conversation. Ituloy pa natin to. Tingnan natin sa closet ko kung magiging useful for the Little Vintage Shop.
For sure.
Thank you very much. This has been Rose Fresh Fausto, your FQ mom, saying cheers to high FQ. Bye.
Bye.
Beautiful. Hollywood.
Welcome to the Vintage.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna give.
Yes.
So the Little Vintage Shop.
For the donation. donation.
Yay!
Yung mga iba na pang-workout, pang-alis, ginamit ko pang-talk.
And
You know what?
galing
We
yung
end
swim
up buying
shorts.
some of the donations.
Actually, hindi na siya nag-end up. A lot that happens, ah.
Baka nasa Zonta na lang, di ba?
Yeah.
I
Sa
saw
Zonta
nga
pa
daw.
lang, clients na natin.
Quote ni Isabel.
Yeah.
Ang ganda nun.
Ang ganda.